Hello guys, and welcome back. Today we are going to do the AuthorTube Newbie Tag that I've been meaning to do for weeks, and I haven't done because I was sick. So let's get into it. Oh my god. You just scared the living shit out of me. And you're stuck to my shirt. What are you doing? Hello? 911. Yes, hello. Say hello. Hello. So, AuthorTube Newbie Tag, which I stole off of some other AuthorTuber because I'm trying to join AuthorTube. Yeah, if you're wondering, I'm almost done with Harcott's Blood, the first book. It has been so long. I am working on the detailing of the last 7 pages. Once I get this page done, I'll have 6 pages left to do the detailing on, and then I should be ready to scan them into the computer and then edit them further from there. But that is the stage that I wanted to be at before I started my Kickstarter. So, Kickstarter should be coming up soon here in August. Super excited about it. Also super nervous. I hope that I've shared enough of it with you guys. I would really love to share more of it with you guys, but life is hectic and I'm lazy, and when you basically sit at an art desk all day, and it's the only thing that you do all day, I swear I have cat hair on my face. When that's all that you do all day, you forget to dress like an adult and put on makeup and clothes and other things, and I don't want to record videos for you guys when I'm not presentable. Also, I recently got a comment on my comic book video asking about how to contact artists and how to hire them, and I thought that answering just as a quick comment probably wouldn't really be the justice that it needs. So I'm going to do some research and videotape that for you guys and then show you what I've found. I remember I learned a little bit about certain places that you can go to hire artists when I was still in college taking my comics book class, but like I said in the video, I am my own artist, so I don't really need that, and so I kind of haven't really paid much attention to it, but I do know that a lot of writers need artists, and they need artists that are good communicators and ones that want to work and are willing to work. And it's a really tough subject because of the fact that depending on what you want them to do, it can take them a really long time just to get through one page. And obviously as a writer who's new to these sorts of things, you're not going to have the cash to offer them properly for their work. And that's a really frustrating point to be between when you're in that position, because maybe the artist is actually really invested in the storyline that you've written, but they just can't justify it when they have bills to pay. Anyways, I am going to do a video about that hopefully soon, and I really want to get some really good research and find multiple options for you guys who are looking for artists. Sorry for all the little introductory things. I know it's kind of a lot, but it's just because I've been away and I've been sick and I've been meaning to do stuff, but I just couldn't. And yeah, number 1 is, how did you find the AuthorTube community? The first person that I found in the AuthorTube community was Kristen Martin. This is when I was first trying to figure out what I wanted to do in the writing career. I was in the last few months of college and I really wanted to pursue something and make sure that I knew everything I possibly could about the subject. And I'd heard a lot about self-publishing while I was in college, but there weren't really a lot of good influencers there to let you know how self-publishing works and what exactly you need to do and how much it costs and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of scary numbers in there, and it can make you really nervous about self-publishing. But there's also a lot of upsides to self-publishing, and there's a lot of downsides to publishing with a big company. So I decided that I'd start following different YouTubers, or author-tubers as you might know them, that talk about self-publishing. And Kristen Martin was one of the first people that I found. I really loved how uplifting and bright and cheery everything that she said was, and like it just made it easier to believe in myself. It was inspirational. Shortly after I found Kristen Martin, I also found Garrett Robinson. I will link both of them below or somewhere. Maybe I'll do it at the end, actually. I'll do it in the end card. I'll link their channels. But they are awesome, awesome people, and I absolutely love them. And they are two very different people, but I love them for different reasons. They are both self-published authors that self-publish all their books thus far, and they do some really amazing stuff, and it's really inspirational for someone who is looking to self-publish and doesn't really know how to go about it. They have a lot of great informational videos, and I would definitely suggest checking them out. Number 2, what genres do you write in? I primarily write in fantasy. I'm definitely a high fantasy gal. I grew up watching Lord of the Rings and playing the Hobbit video game, and just everything in my childhood was very fantasy based. I played D&D with my parents all the time when I was a kid, and it just influenced me a lot, and I was very obsessed with it, and it was just everything to me. I also do a little bit of sci-fi. I really want to read some of my short stories for you guys. Hopefully I will do a future series of those, because I think those would be really fun. If you want to check out any of my short stories to see the kind of writing that I do, I have a writing portfolio in the description, and you can go check out my writing pieces if you'd like. I have all sorts of stuff from like scripts to full-blown stories to choose your own adventure stories. In the future, I'd really like to delve more into horror. I'm really big into watching people play horror games, but I'm terrible at playing them myself because I get so easily terrified. And I really like horror books. I really like reading horror books, but I can't handle horror movies, especially if they're like really gory. They tend to give me panic attacks, and like I can't take those things. Number 3, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and writing category? I think I used to really enjoy writing in past tense because that's how most of my writing classes were before I went to college. They were all past tense, past tense, past tense. And so that's the only way I really learned to write. But as I got into college and then started writing scripts, I had to always do things in present tense. And ever since then, I've really fallen in love with writing in present tense. I feel like it's much more showing instead of telling. I feel like in past tense, you really have to tell people what's going on. You have less of a choice over how you show things. I've really fallen in love with present tense, for sure. Point of view, I really enjoy first person point of view. I have done a couple of things that are in third person, but I really like identifying with the main character, and so I kind of like being in their head. As far as category, I think they mean like the maturity level. I had a class on this, and I had to write for different maturity levels, and I cannot really write for children or between like teenage and children. Every time I try, I write something way too mature for them, and I don't mean to, but like my childhood was full of Lord of the Rings and other crazy things where orcs had their heads chopped off, and like that stuff didn't bother me when I was a kid. And so it's hard for me as an adult to even understand that it's uncomfortable for little kids, because I was just kind of around that stuff all the time and it didn't bother me. Yeah, I write for mature audiences, probably 15 and up, I would say. Are you a plotter, pantser, or plancer? Now, if you guys don't already know what this means, plotter is someone who plots everything. Pantser is someone who just flies by the seat of their pants while they write. Plancer is somewhere in the middle. Growing up, I was completely a pantser. I just wrote everything straight out of my brain, no planning whatsoever. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that if I want to complete something, I need to plot a little bit. So I'm generally a plancer. Are you self-published, traditionally published, or yet to be published? I am yet to be published. I am super excited about it. I'm going to start my Kickstarter very soon. I will let you guys know. I will do a video like as soon as I start my Kickstarter. I will do like 100 videos about my Kickstarter. No, I won't, but I will try and let you guys know all about it because I really, really, really want this to be successful. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for $3,000. That should cover the cost of a good amount of inventory and be able to get out lots of copies to you guys and other cool merch stuff that I've been designing and working on for the past 7 months that I'm super excited about. You might know about if you follow my Instagram, which I will also link in the description. Who is your dream publisher? Now, as I said, I really want to be self-published, and my big dream is to become my own publishing company, but I am going to start my publishing company so that I can publish my own books, and it adds that level of professionalism to them. But also, in the future, I would like to have other writers that work with me, or other artists, or whatever. And I want to give them something that's fair, and I want to help them. I don't want to just be like the big companies that don't care. And so that is my dream publisher. What AuthorTube related videos can we expect from my channel? Can you expect from my channel? Sorry, I said that funny. A lot of the videos will probably entail my books in particular. I will probably do a lot of coloring comic book pages, and I want to do, like I said earlier, more videos in depth about how to make your own comics and the different steps that you have to take. I've already done one of those videos. I will link it in the end card so you guys can go there. When did you start writing? I started writing before I could physically write because I've always been telling myself stories. My mom has always told me all my life that as a baby, even as a baby, I would talk to myself. I would babble and babble and babble to myself. It wasn't towards anyone else, it was to myself. And all my life I've always told stories to myself, straight out of my head, all the time. And it wasn't until probably around the time that I was like 5 or 6 when I started being able to write that I actually started writing. What was the first story that you ever wrote? So, I was going to tell you guys about a Neopets story that I wrote when I was probably about 10 or maybe younger, I can't remember. It was in that range, you know, when you're playing Neopets and you still remember your password and you don't have 5,000 usernames. I realized recently that that wasn't my first story. I don't know what my first story was actually. I have one about a shy lion and lambs, and I have another one about a unicorn that finds her true love and marries Sonic. What authors have inspired you the most? J.R.R. Tolkien obviously had a lot of influence on me, but mainly through the movies. I never actually read any of the books, even though I have them. I have like 3 copies of his books in my house, but I just don't read very much. But I still feel like his writing influenced me because I watched the movies so much, and they are relatively close to what he originally wrote. I also was really influenced by J.K. Rowling. I was a big Potterhead when I was younger. Still kind of am, but obviously as it has ended, it's kind of hard to continue the fandom. One of my favorite movies as a kid, like animated movies was Black Cauldron. The Black Cauldron was one of my favorites. I actually recently rewatched it. It's really freaky, but I still absolutely adore it. And like as a kid it really freaked me out, but like there was always something very trance-like about watching it that just like I wanted to keep watching it even though it's freaky, if you know what I mean. Also, the writers of Morrowind, the video game, would also be a giant influence on me, as I remember as a kid that was like one of the only things that I did was play Morrowind or watch my dad play Morrowind, and I was so obsessed with it. I was obsessed with Oblivion as well, still obsessed with Skyrim even though it's kind of downgraded a little bit since Morrowind. I really love the originality of Morrowind versus Skyrim is kind of fallen off a little bit, but anyways, I was really inspired by Morrowind and the crazy creatures and like everything that was so different about it. Even as a kid who didn't really understand all the political and all that other nonsense that was going on, I still really enjoyed just the originality and the imagination and creativity of that game. Do you schedule your writing sessions or do they just kind of happen? To be honest, I don't schedule them. Generally, once I get an idea in my head, I have to start writing or I'm not gonna ever write. So it's just kind of when it hits me, I write. Do you type on a computer, a typewriter, or do you write by hand? I do all three. I mainly write on my computer because it's just the easiest and it makes the most sense. But when I'm coming up with ideas, I like to write on a pad of paper because that's just the easiest way to get my ideas out without making them concrete on the computer. And then I do write on my typewriter. Not very often, but I do. Mainly it's like once I've either fully written something on the computer and I'd just like to have a physical copy of it, or it's more for like diary stuff. Finally, the last question. What are you the most excited about being in the AuthorTube community? I am super excited to share my creations with you guys and my future projects, and just being able to have someone to talk to about it. And I thought that it would be a great idea to start talking about it to you guys, because then I'll find the people that I'm looking for. Anyways, this is the end of the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like it, maybe tickle the subscribe button, I don't know. Think of it not as a subscribe button, but think about it instead as you friending me on Facebook or something like that, because this really isn't about making money. My whole channel is not about making money. My channel is about sharing my passion, and the hope is that you guys will share your passion with me. And I want to really build a community here. I'm not really interested in just selling out for something. And I really want to be a part of this community. So if you guys are interested, you can subscribe and hit the bell. I don't post that often. I apologize. I am trying to get better about it. But I hope to see you guys soon.
Say bye-bye!